Hello everyone, this is Abhishek Mahanti and you are watching Padarth Vigyan. So students, welcome to lecture number 4 of the chapter Vectors. In the previous lecture, we had discussed about the triangle's law of vector addition and we had derived the expression for the magnitude and direction of the resultant vector. Today, in this lecture, we will discuss about parallelogram law of vector addition. And this law is also used to add two vectors. And today, we will discuss about its statement, its geometrical interpretation, and again we will derive the expression for the magnitude and direction of the resultant vector. So, let's get started. So, first look at the statement of this law. It states that if two vectors A and B to be added can be represented both in magnitude and direction by the two adjacent sides of a parallelogram, then their resultant is represented both in magnitude and direction by the diagonal of the parallelogram passing through the common point of the two vectors. Suppose we want to add two vectors A and B. We want to add two vectors A and B using the parallelogram law of vector addition. Then what I have to do? Suppose this is vector A and this is vector B. So we know that the length of the vector represents the magnitude and the arrowhead represents the direction. So these are the two vectors and I want to add them using the parallelogram law of vector addition. So first I have to rearrange the two vectors as the two adjacent sides of a parallelogram. So just look at the diagram here. I have represented the two vectors A and B as the two adjacent sides of the parallelogram M, N, P, Q. M, M, P, Q. Is that clear? So M, N, P, Q is the parallelogram and the two adjacent sides are M, N and N, P. The side MN represents vector B and the side NP represents vector A. So, in order to add these two vectors, I have arranged them as the two adjacent sides of this parallelogram. Then, their resultant means the sum of the two vectors is represented both in magnitude and direction by the diagonal of the parallelogram passing through the common point of the two vectors. So this parallelogram has two diagonals NQ and MP. NQ and MP are the two diagonals of this parallelogram. But out of these two diagonals, the diagonal NQ will represent the resultant vector both in magnitude and direction. Means the length of NQ will represent the magnitude of resultant vector and this arrow mark will represent the direction of R vector. Is that clear? And why did we choose this diagonal NQ? Because this diagonal NQ passes through the common point of the two vectors. So just look at the statement again. The resultant is represented both in magnitude and direction by the diagonal of the parallelogram passing through the common point of the two vectors. So this point N is the common point of the two vectors A and B. So the diagonal which passes through this common point will represent the resultant vector both in magnitude and direction. So this is the diagram based on the statement of parallelogram law of vector addition. Now we will go to derive the expression for magnitude and the direction of the resultant vector. So now we have to derive the expression for the magnitude of the resultant vector and then we will go to derive the expression for the direction of the resultant vector. So I have drawn the diagram again here. This is the parallelogram MNPQ. The side NM represents vector B and the side NP represents vector A. We know that the opposite sides of a parallelogram are parallel and equal, means they have equal length and they are parallel to each other. So if NP represents vector A, then MQ will also represent vector A, because the two sides have the same length, means they have the same magnitude, and they are parallel, so they have the same direction. So if NP is vector A, then definitely NQ is also vector A. Similarly, NM is vector B, that implies PQ is also the vector B. So I can write that PQ is vector B. Now this side NQ represents vector R. So R vector is equal to A vector plus B vector. So in order to derive the expression for the magnitude of the resultant vector, let me extend the side NP towards right. Let me extend this side towards right like this. And now I will draw a perpendicular from the point Q onto this extended line. So let me draw a perpendicular like this. So suppose this point is S, this point is S, okay, and this angle PSQ, this angle is how much? The angle is 90 degree, okay, and the angle between the two vectors, this is vector A and this is vector B, the angle between the two vectors is this one, angle is theta. If this angle is theta, then this angle is also theta, this angle is also theta. Is that clear? So let me derive the formula here. So in the triangle PSQ, in the triangle PSQ, sine theta, if you find sine theta in this triangle, it will be P by H, means it will be QS by PQ, QS by PQ. That implies QS equal to PQ sine theta, QS equal to PQ sine theta. So PQ is the magnitude of vector B, because we know that the length represents the magnitude. So PQ will represent the magnitude of vector B. So I can write that QS is equal to B sine theta. QS is equal to B sine theta. Now in the same triangle PSQ, I will find what is the value of cos theta. So cos theta will be B by H. So in this triangle PSQ, PS is the base and PQ is the hypotenuse. So I can write PS by PQ. That implies PS equal to PQ cos theta. PS is equal to PQ cos theta. That implies PS equal to, again PQ is the magnitude of vector B, that is B, and then you have to write cos theta here. So PS is equal to B cos theta. Is that clear? So after finding QS and PS, now look at the larger right angle triangle in the triangle NSQ. In the triangle NSQ, NQ is the hypotenuse, NS is the base, SQ is the perpendicular. So I can write that NQ square is equal to NS square plus SQ square. Using the Pythagoras theorem, I can write that NQ square is equal to NS square plus SQ square. That implies NQ square is equal to, NS can be written as NP plus PS. So NP plus PS square plus SQ square. That implies NQ square is equal to, now apply the formula for A plus B whole square. It will be A square plus B square plus 2A into B. So 2 NP into PS, then we have SQ square. So what is NQ? NQ is the length of the resultant vector, means it is the magnitude of the resultant vector. So NQ square means R square. R square is equal to, what is NP? NP is the length of vector A or the magnitude of vector A. So NP square means A square plus PS. What is PS? PS is B cos theta. So PS square will be B square cos square theta plus 2 into 2 into NP. NP is A, and PS, 2 into NP into PS, PS is B cos theta, plus we have SQ square. We have SQ square. What is SQ? SQ or QS both are same, that is B sin theta. So you can write B square sin square theta. That implies R square is equal to A square plus, now keep this term and this term near to each other. So B square taking common, you have cos square theta plus sin square theta, then you have plus 2AB cos theta. That implies R square is equal to A square plus this cos square theta plus sin square theta will be 1. So you have B square, then you have 2AB cos theta. So R square is equal to A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. That implies R is equal to the square root of this quantity A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. So students, you saw that we had also derived this the same expression for the resultant magnitude using the triangle's law of vector addition. It means whether you add two vectors using the triangle's law or using the parallelogram law, you will get the same result. The magnitude of the resultant vector will be given by this expression, that is square root of A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. And if you want to find the direction of the resultant vector, you have to find the angle beta made by this resultant vector with vector A. So this is the expression for magnitude, expression for the magnitude of R vector. Is that clear? Now we have to find the direction of R vector. Let us find the direction of R vector. Direction of R vector means we have to find the angle made by the resultant vector with vector A. Suppose the angle made by the resultant vector with vector A is beta, then in the triangle NSQ, look at the triangle NSQ. In this triangle, in the triangle NSQ, what is tan beta? What is the value of tan beta? Look at the triangle here. This angle is beta, so tan beta will be how much? P by B, perpendicular by base, means QS by NS. QS by NS, tan beta equal to QS by NS. That implies tan beta is equal to what is QS? QS is B sin theta. Look at this box here. QS is B sin theta. So in place of QS, I can write B sin theta divided by NS. So NS is NP plus PS. NS is NP plus PS. So I can write NP plus PS. And what is NP? NP is vector A and PS is B cos theta. So I can write tan beta is equal to B sin theta by A plus B cos theta. That implies beta is equal to tan inverse B sin theta by A plus B cos theta. So students, we had got the exact same expression for beta using the triangle's law of vector addition. So remember that you can use any one of the law. You can use the triangle's law, you can use the parallelogram law, but you will get the same expression. This is the expression for the direction of R vector. Direction of R vector. Is that clear? So this is the magnitude R vector of R vector, and this is the direction of R vector. Now in the previous lecture we had also discussed about a few special cases. So let me again discuss about those special cases. you'll get exactly the same special cases. So I'll not take much time to discuss about that. So special cases means if a vector and b vector are parallel to each other, if a vector and b vector are parallel to each other, that is theta equal to 0 degree, then in that case the resultant magnitude will be a plus b. The magnitude of the resultant vector will be a plus b, and r vector is directed, along both the vectors, along both the vectors. Means if this is vector a and this one is vector b, then r vector is equal to the magnitude of r vector is equal to the magnitude of a plus the magnitude of b, and the resultant vector is also directed along the two vectors. The second case is if a vector and b vector are antiparallel or are opposite to each other, are opposite to each other. In that case, the angle theta is how much? The angle is 180 degree. And suppose assume that the magnitude of A is greater than the magnitude of B, then the resultant will be A minus B. The magnitude of resultant will be magnitude of A minus magnitude of B. And R vector is directed along the direction of a vector, for example, suppose we have a body, this is a block, and you apply two forces, 5 Newton and 3 Newton on the body in the same direction, then the total force will be how much? 5 Newton plus 3 Newton, that is equal to 8 Newton. The total force will also be towards right. This is the total force having the magnitude of 8 Newton. And if you have a body and you apply two forces, 5 Newton and 3 Newton in opposite directions, then in this case the total force will be how much? 5 Newton minus 3 Newton, that is equal to 2 Newton. And this force will be directed along the direction of the larger force. The larger force is 5 Newton, it is acting towards right, so the net force, which is 2 Newton, will also act towards right. And then we have discussed about the third case, that is if a vector and b vector are perpendicular to each other, if a vector and b vector are perpendicular to each other, then what is theta? Theta will be equal to 90 degree. So the magnitude of resultant vector will be square root of a square plus b square. For example, suppose you have an object here and you apply a force of 5 Newton towards east and a force of 3 Newton towards north, then the resultant force will be how much? 5 square plus 3 square square root. So 5 square is 25 plus 3 square is 9, so that will be equal to 34 square root this much of Newton. Is that clear? So you can see that when we are adding two vectors, we cannot simply add their magnitudes. Sometimes the resultant is equal to the sum of their magnitudes, sometimes the resultant is equal to the difference of the magnitudes, and sometimes the resultant is a square plus b square square root. So in this case, so you can see that if the angle theta is different between the two vectors, then the resultant vector also changes, means its magnitude changes, its direction changes. So these are some special cases. So students, remember that triangle's law and parallelogram law will give you the same result, the same expression for the magnitudes, the same expression for the direction of the resultant vector. Whether you use Triangle's law or you use the parallelogram law, you will get the same result. Is that clear? And in the next class we will solve some numericals based on these two laws. But you have two laws, you may get question in the examination to state and prove triangles law or state and prove parallelogram law. But when you are solving problem, you have to remember the same formula. The formula is same for both the laws. So students, I hope that you have understood what is the statement and how to draw the diagram based on the statement, and how did I derive the expression for the magnitude and direction of the resultant vector. So in the next class, so we will discuss few numericals, and till then, have a nice day and bye bye.